Okay, thank you very much. Okay, we're gonna do speed, and we're gonna do problem sums. Okay, so today is a problem sum day for speed. Okay, so whatever that we have learned, we are just gonna do just a not a revision, but we're gonna start straight. Come Zahin, come turn on your video. Come, here we go. Let us see. So hold on. We start with this one. I think we may have done this one. We may have done until question. Yeah, now we try this one. Okay, can you try question? Zahin, come Zahin. Zahin, your video, Zahin. Okay, if you've forgotten the formula, you try this triangle, you must be able to. Okay, so you have D, S, and T. Okay, the other day there was a boy, he came in, Farish. I put him in the wrong class, primary 5 student, and I taught him the wrong thing. Anyway, Akil, are you okay? Akil, you very sleepy, Akil. Wash your face, Akil. Are you sleepy? You look very sad and sleepy. Okay, we'll try this first one. Not so difficult, but easy if you remember. Can use your calculator, please. These questions are considered easy lah for by PSLE
Is
standard.
it 318
Eh,
divided by 53?
you try lah. You try. Don't tell us yes, but that is the correct formula. But don't tell us the answer, please. Don't tell us.
Okay.
Okay, you send a massive answer. Otherwise, the rest, you'll feel frustrated. Because as you start to enjoy maths, you realize frustrating thing is you're doing, then you get the answer. It's like watching a movie and you know the ending. Let us see now. So how long? Okay. Let me see whether you're. Oh, so now, okay. So, Akil, what's your answer? Akil, for the first one? The rest have given the answer. So let's see. Okay, both Putri and Zahin, you're right. Okay, all three of you are correct. Well done. So, what time did he depart? 24-hour clock. Depart, Depart means leave. Leave Johor Bahru. So it's 6 hours. You need to write hours here. Down here will be 6 hours before this lah. What is that? You don't know, you put like that. Yes, you must write like this, like Zahin write. What about the rest? Akil write that cannot. Must write that 24-hour clock must be like that. You must have 4 digits in your 24-hour clock. Putri, okay, Putri? Putri, okay? You must not, if you want to write 9 a.m., this is not 24-hour clock. 24-hour clock must always have. Now, why do they have 24-hour clock? So that you cannot ever get confused between 12 p.m., 12 a.m., 1 p.m., 1 a.m. So when you go to the army, they tell you, okay, sign in by 2359. In fact, sometimes when you put in proposals, they tell you closing time is, let's say, 12 July. On this day, 12 July, 2359. That means just 1 minute before the next day. Okay. All right, let's move on to the next one. So far, it's quite okay, right? The problem sum is quite okay. Just let me me just yeah, you try this next one while I'm message. So they know. Sorry, I'm just. So this average speed, we're gonna revise shortly. What is average speed? Okay lah. Okay, quite easy. See, we got the first answer coming in from. Well done, Mr. Akil. You are coming first. Congratulations. You should be proud of yourself. Are you still going McDonald's, Akil? Do you go McDonald's every week? Or? No more.
I already eat McDonald's.
Just now, a while ago. Oh, Miss Putri, something is wrong. 1046. Very, very. Did you take? Okay, let's see. What was Zahin? We are waiting for Zahin. So you must remember to use this, and you must find out what's the time now here. You have this is the unit for what, Putri?
Okay, wait.
What is this? Yeah. This one is distance. This one is speed. You can find time. Same thing. This one is distance. This one is speed. You can find time. DST. Then you find both time and then you add the time together. Zahin, are you okay, Zahin? Okay, so now we go part by part, okay? All right. No issue, you don't know. Okay, all right, well done. Putri.
Am I correct?
So now from here, yeah, you're correct. You're correct. So from here to here, we can see the distance. The distance is 22 kilometers. We have the speed. So you have the distance, you have the speed. You want to find time, distance divide by speed. So distance is 22, divide by 44. You divide by right, you get half lah. Okay, you divide by 2, you get 11. You divide by 2, you get 22. Divide by 11, you get 1. Divide by 11, you get 2. So 1 over 2. So this one is half. Oh, this one is half an hour from A to B. Do the same thing. 72 divided by 48. You use your calculator, you get 1.5. 1.5 or 1 hour. Same thing. Yes. So once you add both of them together, it's 2 hours. Okay, Zahin? Can huh? So now at this level now your speed questions are quite basic. That means what is it? I mean, they will give you 2 items normally. They give you distance, they give you speed. Means you can find time already. So yeah.
Can we think like we plus town A to town B the speed and distance, and then from town B to house the distance and the speed we plus together, then we divide it. Can we or not?
Cannot. So okay. So the formula for average speed, you have to plus both. What you are saying is only for average speed. Average speed is total distance over total time. Yes. For average speed, you you must combine. But if you want to find time, you cannot combine. You'll all be mixed up. Everything will be mixed up. You cannot. Only for average speed. You take the total distance, total time we divide. But if you want to find total time, you cannot take total distance, total speed, cannot. Because what does it mean? If you take the 44 plus 48 is 80 something, but it was not traveling at 80 something. So yeah, you need to find one part first, one part then combine. Okay, never mind. As we move on, you get more and more familiar. In fact, I was so shocked, I was teaching this year Sec 1. I was teaching them speed. I was wondering how come they don't know. Then I forgot. Last year there's COVID. There was no speed being taught. So the Sec 1 for this year do not know speed yet. They are same. I got to teach them the premise 6 items. So let us try this one. A car racer. You must be able to imagine if you need to draw the laps you draw. Circuit, what is a circuit? Is the round. They say now, the circuit might be, we imagine the circuit like a soccer field. The jogging track around the soccer field like that. Imagine a car, so there's one lap. This one actually, this lap is actually the it's like you might go this way. Certain car, I think you might go. This is one considered one lap, but we imagine in our head it's as simple as that. Well, someone has given answer there. Okay. Let's see what you're right. Average speed. Now, if you say it's anything, normally this is a car racer, no? What is the speed? They say 20 km per hour. You know what's the speed? Because now down here the speed will be 20 km per hour, right? It is in km per hour. 20 km per hour is the maximum speed in a car park. Do you think they'll be traveling at that speed? No, right? Car racer, you're traveling at car park, too slow. That's why you need to know a little bit about the timing. Cars, you want to go fast, over 100 km per hour. Confirm. In fact, I got some friend, I was in his Mercedes. So now, Putri, okay, so now I give you, all three of you have given the answer. They ask you for average speed. Average speed is total distance over total time. You must have km per hour. First of all, Zahin said 22. 22, as I say, is about the fastest speed in the car park. Akil says 7.4. Very slow, lah. I think a person running is faster. Putri says 7.3. So let us see what happened. First of all, do you understand what they're saying? What is the distance first? The distance is not 5.5 km. One lap is 5.5. Cannot be, because 7.4 per km per hour is very slow, lah. Zahin put 22 is already maximum. Imagine how you drive a car in a car park. Imagine they are car racer, they drive like that. Everyone will become car racer, lah. Right? Something. So you must have a rough idea about speed. So you know when in Singapore the speed limit is 90 km per hour. 90 is not considered fast, okay, now Putri says 161. Let us see now. So what to do now? First of all, it tell you one lap, that means from here, let's say we start here, is 5.5 km. He did 22 laps, so take 22 times 5.5. How much is that? To find the total distance traveled, do you do this? You must find the total distance traveled first. Because he did 22 laps. Each lap, don't say no. Oh, lap, last time I know my lap. I used to sit on my grandfather's lap. That is a different lap. Grandfather's lap down here is a different lap, This is one round. Okay, so 22 times 5.5, what do we get? 22 times 5.
1 to 1.
1 to 1. 121 kilometers. It's quite a distance, and they did it in 3/4 hour. So you want to find what? Average speed. Total distance over total time. If you do not know, okay. Distance over time. So what is time? Time is 3/4. So take 1 to 1 divided by 3/4. Then you do the flip. You use your calculator. Inshallah, it should be correct. 1 to 1 divided by times by 4/3. So I do not know. 1 to 1 can divide by 3. Cannot. 1 to 1 times 4 divided by 3. 161 and 1/3. Yes, this is the speed. But 161 is actually not so fast, you know. You know why? I was once in my friend's Mercedes in Malaysia. He was driving at 180 km per hour. You know, I felt as if I was going to die. And you know what? He was sending me back to Singapore from Kuala Lumpur. He drove back to Singapore in about 2 hours plus. Oh my goodness. I felt as if I'm going to die, you know. But when you have a very good car, sometimes you don't feel you're going fast. Just like in the lift, sometimes you don't feel you're going up. Or in the plane, you don't feel you're moving. In a fast car, taxi, sometimes you don't feel like you're moving, but actually you are moving. Just like now, you don't feel you're moving right on Earth, but the Earth is spinning around is turning around, spinning, and at the same time going around the sun. You don't feel it. So are we okay with this? The distance, you take number of laps times distance of one lap, you get a total distance. Then divide by time. So I hope you're okay. Let us see now. Someone sent me a message. Not 90. Not 90. Yeah.
Can we write the answer?
Zahin, okay, Zahin? Yeah, can. So how to write this one? In 1.333, okay. Now in school, primary school, they don't teach you this one. You can write like 161. Oh, hold on. So what's your answer? 161.3, yeah? You can write 0.33 if you want, or you can put the dot on top. When you put the dot on top, it's 0.3333333. Zahin, are we okay, Zahin? Zahin, you understand this one? Okay, Okay, if you don't understand, please tell me, okay? If you are shy to tell me, just send me a message. Say, I don't know, please explain again. Okay, no problem. Now we try the next one because we are getting to tougher and tougher speed questions. So if I were you, I would draw. Draw what? I draw the line, the distance time. Draw something like that. Oh, too much. One more time. Draw something like that. But not straight line, not good. I draw again. You try you draw. And then what? And then travel 3/4 journey. Okay, I divide into four quarters. So 3/4 from here to here. And then I'll label. So you try to draw something like this, label, so that you can understand the question better. Okay, I just draw my style, okay? This Sunny Hills, Happy Valley, and then Riverdale. And what do? I will put it here. He started 7:30. Whatever details I can write, I write here. This will help me to understand. I'm translating information from the question here. 3/4 the journey, okay. What is the speed? Speed is given 90 km per hour. For 1/3 hour. So you got your speed, you got your time, you know. You got your speed. Okay, you're trying to solve, okay? I'm just, while you're doing, if you need to listen in, you can listen in. Come on. So the speed, time is 1/3. Sorry. Oh, drove to Happy Valley. So my diagram is wrong. My diagram is wrong. See, I did not read carefully. He's driving from Sunny Hills to Happy Valley. So this is Riverdale. This is Happy Valley. After driving 3/4, 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, he arrived at Riverdale. 1/3 hour, 90 km/h. Speed, time. You can find distance. Why? You can find it because you got speed and you got the time. Then he continued his journey to Happy Valley at 60 km/h. You can have this. But you say, why down here only give me one? Yes, down here you have speed. You don't have time, but you can find distance. If you know the distance for 3 units, this is 3 units, 1, 2, 3, you can find the distance for 1 unit. So you can find later, speed you are given, you can find the distance. Your speed and distance, you can find the time. So you can solve this. Okay, please try. Please try. You have to believe in yourself, okay? Believe in yourself. Now again, those of you who are unsure, use the triangle. This triangle is very important. There's only 3 things we are looking at: distance, speed, and time. Down here you got speed. Down here you got time. So you can find distance from here to here. And this is 1 unit, 2 units, and 3 units. You can surely find one unit. If you can find 3 units, you find the distance that's equal to 3 units, divide by 3, get 1 unit. So down here now you have distance. Once you find the distance, you have distance. Then you have speed. You can find time, and you can answer the whole question. Please try, come on. Do not give up, Okay, let's see. Too short distance. Okay. So what is the formula, Putri? To find distance, speed times time. Speed is here, time is here. Just take 90 over 1 times 1 over 3. It's times. Come on, guys. You can do this, guys. You want to find the distance? Speed times time.
Am I correct?
You're, okay, let me check in. Yes, you're correct now. You're correct. Then you know that is 3 units on here. This 1, 2, 3. You want to find 1 unit down here. You can find, right? Then you can find the next 2. You have your distance, you have your speed. Okay, Zahin, how do you get that? Okay, so let us see now. For A, Akil can do that, Akil. Okay, so now how to get? Down here now, you have your speed. You have your time. Formula is, for distance is speed times time. So take 90 over 1 times 1/3. You cancel out the 3 and the 9, you get 30. So this from here to here is 30. Then you can solve already. Okay. I hope you can get it. You can also give your answer in Putri, in fraction. Fraction might be easier. Okay, I can see Akil and Zahin might be lost. So I need to go through again. I need to go through again. If you're not lost, please tell me you're not lost. Okay, now.
Am I correct?
Yes. So how much is that in minutes? Do you know? How many minutes is that? 1/6 times 60, you get 10 minutes. So sometimes I just want you to be aware. So now from here, from Sunny Hills to Riverdale, he took 1/3 hour. The speed is 90 km per hour. You want to find the distance? No problem. Speed times time. 90 times 1/3. You try 90 times 1/3, you will get 30. Confirm. Okay, 90 over 1 times 1 over 3. 3 divided by 3 get 1. 9 divided by 3 get 3. 30. Yeah? So from here to here is 30 km. You already answered question 1. Can you see you've already answered question number 1. How far was Riverdale from Sunny Hills? 30 km. Now then you can see this is 1 unit, this is 2 units, this is 3 units. This is 3/4 of the whole journey. This is 1 unit. So 3 units is 30 km. 1 unit is 10 km lah. You divide by 3, get 10 km. Now notice here, you have the distance 10 km. You have the speed 60 km. You can find the time. How to find the time? Distance divided by speed. Distance divided by speed. So take distance, which is 10 km, not 60, 10 km, divide by 60. You get 1/6 hour. You cancel 0, cancel 1/6 hour. So how long will it take? 1/6 hour. If they ask you, how much is that in minutes? 1/6 times 60. You will get 10 minutes. Divide by 6. Divide by 6. Okay, we move on. If you cannot get it, please tell me. Please send me a message to say I don't understand or something so that I know you don't understand. Okay. Don't be shy to tell me. Okay, you try. Okay, Mr. Lau, can you try this one now? If you need to draw the speed timeline, time graph, or distance time graph, please carry on. One moment. Well done, Putri. For A. Ilhan, in case you forgot, the formula is DST. Distance, speed, time. I hope you know how to use the triangle, all of you. Akil, well done for A. Let me see Putri. Putri, something is wrong in your answer. Are you saying it's 210 and a half km per hour? You see, who is faster? Mr. Poon took a longer time, half an hour longer. Mr. Lau's speed is 60. Mr. Poon must be slower. His speed must be slower than 60. You understand? Mr. Poon, he take half an hour to reach, half an hour more to reach the same, to do the same journey. So that means he was traveling slower. Zahin, you send me your working, take a photo, you're working, let me show me. You send me, do you do working? Do you do working? No. Now how? You must write down your working. Okay, come. We need to that thing. Okay, now I'm gonna explain to you logically. Okay, Zahin Ilhan. All right. Do you know what this means? This means 60 km in 1 hour. This means 60 km per hour means in 1 hour the speed is 60 km. Now the question is saying he took 3.5 hours. Let us count now. Count 1 hour. Ilhan and Zahin, he's traveling 60 km. Okay, good. In 3 hours, you times 3. Yeah? I'm giving you a way to estimate. It's 180 km. You times 3, you get 160 times 3, you get 180 km. Can you see now? This means, if you don't understand, this means 60 km in 1 hour. This one here. 1 hour, you travel 60 km. So now you travel for 3.5 hours. 3 hours and 180 km. What about half an hour? Well, if 1 hour is 60 km, half an hour is how many km? You divide by 2 lah. Half, you get 30 km. Oh, I can show you another way of finding an answer without using this formula. 180 plus 30. Yeah. Half an hour you travel 30 km. 3 hours you travel 180 km. In 3.5 hours you take 180 minus 30 plus 30, you get 210 km. But normally students do by formula. So how to do by formula? So if you want to find distance, okay, we take out distance. So what is it? It's speed times time. If you have them on the same level, means speed times time. So what is speed times time? Is right for you. The speed down here is 60 km per hour times 3.5. See, I don't know 3.5, how to times? Change it to improper fraction, 7/2. I'll show you how to do even by working now. Divide by 2, you get 30. Divide by 2, you get 1. 3 times 7, 21. Add a 0, 210. Correct. Now, the next one. You want to find average speed. Putri, your answer is wrong. Putri, your 240 km per hour is very fast. Again, Mr. Lau, he traveled at 60 km per hour. Mr. Poon took half an hour more. That means he take more time to reach. If you take more time to reach the same distance, means he took how many hours first? He took half an hour more than 3.5 hours. He took 4 hours lah. Are you reading carefully? Okay, Mr. Poon took half an hour more. So still too much. So took 4 hours. So now we do the distance time graph again. The formula. What you want to find? You want to find the speed, correct? Very simple. Distance.
120 km an hour.
Oh, too fast. Why? I tell you why. Mr. Lau is traveling at 60 km per hour. Mr. Poon take a half an hour longer to reach. Means Mr. Poon is traveling slower. He must be
90
less than,
km an hour.
It's still more than 60, right? Mr. Lau is 60 km. Mr. Poon slower must be less than 60.
30 km an hour.
Okay, we try. We see. So what's the formula for speed? Distance over time. So what is distance? Do we have distance there? We got distance right down here. We found out already. So 210. Do we have time? Yes, we have time. Do not put half an hour here. Time is 4 hours. Why? He took half an hour more than 3.5 hours. So it took 4 hours. So what do you get? You divide and you get your answer. 210 divided by 4. 52.5 km per hour. Now, this standard is a standard of PSLE. This one. You must be able to understand. They are not going to give you direct. You see, I thought I must take 210 divided by half. Then you get it wrong. You get maybe 200 plus km. because you're not reading carefully. Mr. Poon took half an hour more than Mr. Lau. Mr. Lau took 3.5 hours. What is half an hour more? 3.5 plus half lah. When you plus half, you get 4 hours. Oh, Mr. Poon took 4 hours. And what about the distance? Distance must be the same. Why? They told you there's a same journey to complete the same journey. The same journey means the same distance. So distance is 210. So you want to find speed, 210 divided by 4. That's it. Okay, you must be clear about this. You got to be clear. We are still not yet ready for the test. Ilhan, are you okay, Ilhan? You look a bit drunk, Ilhan. Wake up, Ilhan. Go wash your face. Okay, try the next one. You can do this. You can do this. You can do this. Be careful. Just be careful, okay? Be careful. Okay, you all try, try. I'm just writing this down in case you do not know how to write. Your working is like that. This is your distance time. The first thing you're supposed to do is to find distance between Putrajaya and Taiping. Okay, Putri, the car took less time than the van. Which one is traveling faster, the car or the van? Van. If now you take less time to reach your school, your brother take more time. Who is running faster, walking faster, you or your brother? You. So when you take less time means you are going faster. So how come cannot be like 7.7 km per hour because the van is 56? 7.7 km per hour is like the speed inside a car park. Remember that? Very slow. Imagine speed in car park. You take a bus also, a bus is faster. Okay, so Ilhan, they want the average speed. Average speed the unit is km per hour. So let us see. Do you get, is that the distance? I think you're giving me the distance. So you might be correct. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, that's not the distance. Yes, Putri has just given me the distance. You must find the distance between Putrajaya. Yes, Ilhan correct. The distance is correct. Zahin, how to find distance, Zahin? What's the formula? You know the formula, Zahin. Find distance first between Putrajaya and I think this is the triangle here. DST. Alamak. DST. That's the formula lah. So you want to find distance, speed times time. You have speed, you have time. Just put into your calculator lah. Take time to be 5.5. Speed 56. You will get the distance. Once you get the distance, you can find now. So what is the time for the car down here? Putri, you know what's the time for the car? You see, it took 1.5 hours less than the van. The van took 5.5 hours. So what is the time the car take? How many hours? The van took 5.5 hours. The car took 1.5 hours less. How many hours did the car take to reach the journey, to complete the journey? Come on, come on, come on. Minus lah. Took less means you minus, right? 5.5 minus 1.5. Time taken by car is 4 hours. Do you know distance? Yes, you know distance, right? You have found distance down here already. This is the same distance. Can you find the speed of the car? Yes, you can. Distance divided by time. You have distance down here, you find. Divide by time, you can find. Okay, Ilhan. Okay, I think you're correct, Ilhan. Well done. Hold on, now let me just check. Well done, Ilhan. Well done, Putri. Zahin, come on, Zahin, and Akil. If you're confused, I need to know which part you're confused. Because sometimes mathematics, it needs to click, you know. Sometimes you're listening, you're trying to understand, it doesn't click yet. It must have the aha effect. Oh yeah, like that. So until you reach that stage, you can nod your head, say, I understand, but actually you don't really understand. The clicking now, how to find distance. Okay. So now I'm going to write down a formula for you. Okay. I'm going to tell Zahin. Zahin, I'm going to test you now on something. On this triangle, Zahin. Let's say I put A, B. This one you must understand how to use this one, Zahin. Otherwise, you won't know. So if I want to find A, what's the formula? You can unmute and tell me lah.
B times C.
B times C. Zahin, you sound very different. Okay, B times C. Correct. Now how to know it's B times C? You see, you're gonna find A, you remove A. You remove. Can you see BC is in one line means it's times. When it's one line straight means it's times. If one on top, the other means divide. Okay. So now, okay, Zahin, now we try Zahin. Zahin, this one you answer. Okay. Can you find C now, Zahin? How to find C? What's the formula for C?
A divided by B.
A divided by B. So you know already, huh? So now you want to find D, S times T. So what is S? S is 56. This is the speed of the van. Then time you can change to 5.5 or 5.5, no problem. You see, my calculator cannot do 5.5. Okay, do 5.5. You know, I will still want to do fraction. Okay, put 7/2 lah. No, not 7/2, 11/2. 5.5, 5 times 2, 10 plus 1, 11. So it can be 11/2 also can. Up to you. Your times, you get 308 km. Remember, this car is going to travel the same journey. Same journey means same distance. So the distance answer is also 308. So this is the same. Why I draw twice? So that you can differentiate between the van and the car. That's all. But it's the same journey. The time is 4 hours. The distance is 308. You can find speed. What is speed? Distance divided by time. Distance is 308. Time is 4. You divide, you get 77 km per hour. Okay, we try again, okay? We try again, Ken? Can Zahin, okay, Zahin? Should be okay? Okay. No, not okay, you are struggling, so I'm not too sure. Never mind, if you need more that thing, please tell me. Do not be shy to tell me, okay? We try the next one. Oh, wait. Sorry. Let us go to, before we go to further complex one, let us go to the other one. Okay, can you try this, please? Question number 2. I'm just writing notes for you, but you have to read and understand. Okay, please go ahead and solve. You can do this. You can do this. Ask yourself, can you find the average speed already? You got a total distance? Yes, you do. What do you need then? Only total time. You got time for this part. You find the time for this part. Once you find the time for this part, add the two time together, you got total time you can find already. Okay, let's see someone's sending it. Okay, let's see. Congratulations, Miss Putri. Is it easy? Once you get the hang of it, it's not so tough actually. But the main part of the question is coming out with this, trying to understand the question. Down here, trying to understand the question is the frustrating part sometimes. You can understand the question, great. That's why I'm drawing this to help you to understand the question. Okay, while we are waiting, I think I need to reduce this so that Putri can do more, but there's no more questions to do though. Sorry, I cannot reduce it for the so Putri. You can try this mental calculation, Putri. I'm going to give you 13 times 11 in your head. In your head, 13 times 11, Putri. Ilhan, okay, no, Ilhan? What nice hair you have, Ilhan. Ayu's rejoice. Soft, silky hair. Okay, all right. 13 times 11. Take 13 times 10, then plus 13. 13 times 10, then plus 13. 13 times 10, plus 13. All right, we have someone just sending answer. Ilhan. Well, yeah, it's not correct. That's right. You have another answer. 13 times. Okay, Zahin Akil not the answer. Okay, we check. 13 times 7 times 10 is 130. Plus 13 is 143. Okay, so now to the boys. To Akil, Zahin, Ilhan. We must first understand the question. There's a train, a choo-choo train. It's traveling from X to Y. The whole distance is 150 km. The whole distance. They want us to find what's the average speed of the train for whole journey. Formula for average speed, total distance over total time. Do you have total distance? Yes, 150 km. Do you have total time? Well, I got time for one part, but I don't have the time for this side. If I know the time for both sides, add together, I have total time. So I must find the time on this side. How to find time? Well, remember, you have now the triangle. Down here, DST, right? So what's the formula for time? Time is distance divided by speed. So I take distance. Sorry, wrong. Terbalik. Distance divided by speed. Yes. So 120 divided by 72, and you'll get 1.75. Or 1 3/4 lah. 1 3/4. That's what you get. Hours. This is from here to here 1 3/4 hours. Down here to here 1 1/4 hours. Add them together lah. 1 3/4 plus 1 1/4. You get 3 whole hours. Oh, you get 3 hours. Yes. So now average speed, you got the time 3 hours. Your distance, you got 150. 150 divided by 3 is 50 km per hour. That's your answer. 50 km per hour. Okay, which part any of you boys don't understand? Or you're too tired already? I do not know. I'm looking at you a little bit fidgety, so I think you might be a little bit tired. Which part? Anyone you all don't understand? Don't know whether you all... Okay, I will share with you a story. Okay. This one, the primary 4, they are asking me, so I tell them a story, a true story. I may have shown you this picture before. So you see whether if you have... The name of this guy is Frederick Douglass. Okay, let us see whether Frederick Douglass. This is the guy, Frederick Douglass. Oh. Okay, Frederick Douglass. This is the man. Okay. Who is he? He was an American. How long ago did he live? He lived from 1817 to 1895. He was born a slave and he escaped from slavery. So what is his story? Well, there's a book down here. Okay, this book is quite an interesting book. He explained how he escaped. And he explained something to me that's very, very important. See, he was sent to a new house at the age about 6 or 5 or 6, I can't remember. And he met this woman, the new mistress. Mistress meaning the person in charge of him. And he said the woman was kind and was very good. Okay? Was very good. And what happened after that? What happened after that is, I read to you. Very soon after I went to live with Mr. and Mrs. Out, she very kindly commenced to teach me the ABC, the alphabets. You know what slave? No? Slave people are, I do not know whether you know what slave. You know, yeah. Slave beatings. Okay, you look all these images. You can see all this thing, this man down here. You know what this is? This is the scars of being beaten until the body is like that. Now, how is it they can do that? They can do that because a slave is considered an object. You can buy a slave. You can sell a slave. That's why in Islam, during the Prophet Muhammad's time, there were slaves. And Allah says in Surah Balad, what does it say? You want to gain faith? You free a slave. Freeing the slaves is very, very, yes. Bilal was once a slave, yes. Sayyidina Abu Bakr bought him, no. Free him. So in Islam, we are supposed to free people from slavery. Do you know that when Stanford Raffles came here, do you know there were slaves? You all know not? Okay, I down here, I'll show you. I do not know whether you all know. In Malay, the Malays had slaves, no? Because of what? Because of utang money. Then what happened? They become a slave. So down here, Sir Raffles, Stanford Raffles, you can check now. Raffles made slavery illegal in Singapore last time, long ago. Down here, see? Slave debtor. So slave debtor system is when if you owe person some money and you cannot pay back, you can become a slave. So let's say now I owe Akil $1,000. Akil say,
My brother owed me $60.
$60. Then maybe in the old system he can become your slave lah. But he's bigger than you, he might beat you up. So
I can make him a slave. I can threaten him with some things because I know secrets from him that my parents don't know.
Alamak, I don't know. Okay, so down here now he made it illegal because they were the rulers. But down here, what happened? This story, as I go back to this story, Frederick Douglass was a young boy. So Mrs. Aud, she kindly commenced to teach him the ABC, how to read. After I learned this, she assisted me to spell words of 3 and 4 letters. Let's say bed, cat, dog. You know, once the child can learn few letters together, can read that, the person can read already. At this point of this progress, the husband found out what was going on and at once stopped the wife from teaching him further. And what did he tell her? It was unlawful in the US. In 18-something in the South, if you teach a slave to read, it is against the law. Can you imagine? And then he says, it's also unsafe. Why? Because if you teach a slave to read, they become dangerous, he says. Huh? How can you learn to read, they become dangerous? Okay, but anyway, he says, a slave, a Negro, he's a nigger, should not know anything but to obey the master. If you teach him how to read, you cannot control him. And he cannot become a slave anymore. Why? Well, anyway, he continues. And then he says, I now understood what has been most confusing for me. How is it the white man can make the black man a slave? And so he realized the way to do it is to remove education. If you remove education, you remove reading, you can make them into dodos. So he realized that and he became so happy. He wanted to learn how to read. You see, I set up with high hope at whatever cost the trouble is to learn how to read. But what happened after that? The lady who was so kind to him became very cruel to him. Okay? So where? Down here. So he says, he did so many strategies. He got no regular teacher. The mistress who had been kind to teach me now stopped to teach me and became very, very bad. Started to treat me as if I was a brute, as if I was a bad person. So what did he do? Down here. I tell you what he did. This is something you must learn from him, okay? He says down here. Oh, where is it? Huh? Sorry. Yeah, I just want to show you how did he learn how to read, because he only learned how to read a few words, correct? So how did he learn how to read in that thing? Down here. So this is the plan I adopted, and it was most successful. I made friends with the little white boys I met in the street, and I converted them into teachers. How can you make your friends into teachers? Well, he says, I succeeded in learning to read. When I was sent on errands, errands to buy things and all that, I always took my book with me. And then I finished my errand quickly, and then I found time to get a lesson before I go back. And I used to carry bread. And this bread, I will pay the poor white children. See, this bread I used to bestow upon the hungry little urchins, who in return would give me that valuable bread of knowledge. What is that? That's teaching him how to read. So can you imagine? As a young boy, at 6 years old, 5 years old, he's paying people for tuition, to learn how to read. And because of that, he learned later on, he escaped from the south part of US, go to north part, and he became a writer, he became a speaker, he became a fighter for the rights. But you all, I can see you all are tired, you're not even listening to the story, so we go back to mathematics. All right, here we go then. Okay, anyway, so now down here, we have done this. Can we try the next one? Two moving object. I do not know whether you can do this. Two moving object. Okay, I'm gonna draw for you you have Dan down here. Dan is cycling this direction. And Tom is cycling this direction. They are going to crash. But anyway, Tom, oh, sorry. You see, I didn't read carefully. Sorry. They start from a point X down here. You must read carefully. Careful, don't make. Then Tom, he cycle one direction. Tom. Then cycle another right direction. Okay. You see, you must draw this for you to be able to see, And then after that, they were 21 km apart. Notice, without drawing, I cannot explain this to you. This is 21 km apart. This is where Tom was after 2/3 hour. Can you see after 2/3 hour? The difference between. So can you now, they tell you the Dan's speed is 12 km per hour. They want you to find what is Tom's speed. Can you think carefully? You got Dan's speed. Okay, you want to find what? You want to find, you know how long Dan cycle? 2/3 hours. You know his speed. You can find the distance travel. What is the distance from here to here? You can find. You find the distance first. If you can find the distance down here, you can also find Tom's distance, because the whole thing is 21. 21 minus his distance, you get this distance. And
10.5.
10.5. Okay, let us see. Yeah, we try. Okay, how to find distance? Speed times time. So 2/3 times by the speed, 10.5. And you divide, you get 4. 4 times 2. 4 times 2, 8, Down here is 8 km. So can you find what is Tom's speed? You know down here to here is 8 km. What is Tom's speed? You're fine. Don't give up. You all look as if you give up already. I need to give you tough questions like this because this is building up for a PSLE. Do I need to be why Mr. Shahid only teach me all the easy questions? And these questions are in your book. You want to find Tom's speed, you need to know the distance he traveled. You need to know the time. You have time already. Can you find the speed, the distance? Ilhan, come Ilhan. You look drunk, Ilhan. What time you wake up? What time you sleep? Morning. 6 a.m.
7.
Slept at 7 mati dah.
In the morning.
In the morning. Aduh. So mathematics, you know, is dealing with thinking. So if you've got not enough sleep, even I need to sleep before I teach you all, you know. So sometimes that's why I have a break. After this, I have like a 2 to 3 hours break. Before, sometimes I need to take a nap. Otherwise, my mind, if it's not active, I cannot teach. So I need to get enough rest first before. Otherwise, I'll be teaching you nonsense. So you all must be able to also. I thought a few students were drunk, mabuk. But they're not drinking beer. They're just sleepy, too sleepy. So it's wasted. The body is there, but the mind not there. It's difficult. Or maybe it's the time of the tuition. Maybe now it's like afternoon time. Everyone's so sleepy, you know. Anyway, maybe next year I must have early morning, no lesson in the afternoon. Maybe from 9 to 12. Then stop. Then start again 5 o'clock or something. Maybe. So can you find now? Putri, is it very tiring, Putri? You're sleepy, Putri, now. Everyone looks so bored. Zahin, how's Zahin? Zahin, are you there? Zahin dah penat lah, tak tahan lah. Okay, so I'll go through with you again. Okay, first thing, in order to be able to do speed, you must be able to understand what the question is saying. So I'm going to rub everything off. I'm going to teach you how to draw this distance time line. So when you read one sentence, you must translate the sentence into a diagram. So you have Dan and Tom. They started to cycle in opposite direction. Okay. So there's 2 ways of seeing it. One, they start at different place. One start here, one start here, opposite direction, right? That's one way. But then this is not the correct way, because if you read again, it says they started from point X. They started from the same point. So I put point X here lah. If you start from same point, that means one person might be cycling this way, another one must be cycling this way. And they tell us they were 21 kilometers apart after 2/3 hour. So that means the distance from here to here is 21 km. Can you see now? 21 km. And the time taken is 2/3 hour. 2/3 hour. I 2/3 hour. Stuff. 2/3 hour. So now, down here now, 2/3 hour. This is now dense cycling. This is Tom. Or you can put the other way around, Tom and Dan. Now, how long did Dan cycle? 2/3 hour lah, because they both cycle same number of hour. The time is 2/3 hour. So I put time here. 2/3 hour. Down here, this time is also for Tom. It's also 2/3 hour. And then what? Then the distance. You got to find the distance. So how to find distance? It says speed times time. Do you know the speed? Down here you know the speed because they give you. Then speed is 12 km per hour. So speed is 12 km per hour. So you find what is the distance. Speed times time. So 12 times 2/3. You will get 8, right? 8 km. So from here to here is 8 km. Good. So the distance for Tom is how many km? Take lah, 21 minus 8. How much you get? You get 13 km. Oh, Tom is 13 km. Yes, he traveled 13 km. In how long? In 2/3 hour lah. So what is the speed? Because that's what we are asking. Speed. Speed is distance divided by time. What is distance? Distance is 13 over 1. Divided by the time is 2 over 3. So it's equals to 13 over 1 times 3 over 2. 13 times 3 is 39. 39 over 2. What do you get? 19.5 km per hour. Okay, I do not know whether you get it, but I feel I'm talking alone. Anyway, we try the next one. You need to wash your face, please wash your face. We have only 15 minutes left. Now, speed questions always come up for exams. Okay, always come up. So you try the next one. Try. If you think you cannot, we'll do other questions. No problem. Okay, just give me one. Alamak, hey, where's everyone gone to? Hello. What is this? How come everyone come back? What happened? I just go off for what I want to cabut. Zahir, Akil. What happened to everyone here? Boys and girls, come. Okay, come. What happened to everyone? Everyone will cabut one shot. I don't know. Or is it your connection? Or my connection? Come. In connection. Will you all log out? No, right? Come, we try this question. Maybe this class should be at 5 o'clock or something. But there's another class at 5 o'clock. So you try to draw the diagram first. Can you draw the diagram? Okay, don't solve yet. Don't solve. Just draw the diagram first. Then you check my diagram in a moment. I will draw. If you want to do this mentally, you cannot do mentally. You need to have a pen and a paper. You cannot do mentally one. Okay, in 1 minute's time, I'll draw the diagram. You compare. Do you draw it correctly? I've got answer here. Let us see now. Okay. Putri says is that 73 4/5. Okay, let us draw. Yeah, draw first, huh? Mr. Suresh started driving from the same point. So now you have the same point out here. In opposite direction, one down here, one down here. This is similar to the last question. Then they tell you, Mr. To is here. And Mr. Suresh, hold on. Mr. To is here. Mr. Suresh is here. So Mr. To drove at 55 km per hour. And then Suresh 68 km per hour. So let's see. And each of them travel for the time. You got the time also. The time is 3/5 hour. The time on here is 3/5 hour also. Hey, you know how to do? Very simple. You find the distance. This one you got the speed. You got time. You can find distance. You got speed. You got time. You can find distance. So how to find distance? Speed times time. 55 times 3/5. Okay. Same thing now here. You got speed, you got time. You want to find distance? 68 times 3/5. Once you get the answer, you add together. How much is it? Let us see whether Putri is correct. Down here, you get 33. Huh?
40.45.
Okay, let's see. 40.4045, yes, correct. 40.48. So you add together both of them. Putri, well done. You got it correct. 70.8 or 70. Sorry, 73.8 or 73.45 km. Okay. Aduh, dah penat. Some of you dah penat. You got to rinse your face. You know, I'm rinsing my face. I feel tired. I need to rinse my face. I bring some murku whatever to munch. You may need to do that. This is the answer. Otherwise, how you going to stand? You're going to sit there. You cannot. Okay. The only animal I've seen that can sit for long hours in the coop is the chicken. You're not chicken, so you need to walk around. Okay, sometimes you have your blood at the butt, So that you see some of them like Akil now, you're going out for it. It's okay, no problem. If that's the way to wake yourself up, tell us a joke. What joke you want me to tell? Okay, I'll tell you this is a true story. Okay, I was, last time I doing Causeway, the Singapore to Malaysia Causeway, we can walk through there. So we walk. I walk. Last time it was a different type of the Causeway. This is different now. Last time you can walk, and a lot of us will walk. So it was right after Chinese New Year. We walked, and then I wanted to experience this when I was 19 years old, 19 or 20 years old. I was in the army. I went with my aunt and her brother. So we went to Malaysia, and then we told ourselves we're not going to stay in a hotel. We're going to stay on the streets. We're going to stay maybe in the masjid. But the first thing when we reached there, we went to a very cheap hotel. The hotel was only 15 ringgit. But it was full of cockroaches. If you sleep, so we slept on top of the bed, we can see cockroaches all below. And there were so many drawings on the wall. Graffiti. People going dirty the wall. Toilet, cockroaches. So anyway, we left the hotel the next day. We started walking. And then we reached KL. We took a bus, we reached KL. When we reached KL, we told ourselves, the other two wanted to give up. Yeah? Say, let's go to a hotel and stay there. I said, we came here to experience the streets. So let us find a quiet place like the poor people and we sleep. And for the first time in my life, I slept outside. And I was quite shocked. You know, the ground is warm. But what is poor thing, I find there were a lot of Malaysians who didn't have homes. You know? They slept outside the provision shop. So as we were sleeping, I could sleep. Suddenly my aunt woke her brother up. There was someone sitting beside her. Actually, it was a beggar wanting to ask money. So we gave him. After that, we slept. And then we were so shocked. You know why? There were so many people around. Because that place that we slept in the morning, it was a market. It was an open air market, you know. Like, you know, you have like a one basketball court like that. The open area is a market. So we went, and I still remember we bathed in the mosque. And I still remember I went to this particular mosque, and I didn't know there was a man inside. Because he didn't shut the door or something, I can't remember, but he kept shouting, aku telanjang, jangan, aku telanjang. I wanted to bathe also. And then I found that people are very, very nice. So as I was walking, there was this man carrying a lot of bananas now. Says, ambil. He passed me the whole packet like that now. Says, ambil. I say, tak nak lah. Kita ni dalam perjalanan. We are on a journey. We cannot carry it. Tak apalah, ambil. Say, never mind, you take it. So I put my hand into the plastic, you know, going to take. And you know what he says? He said, no. Ambil satu dua. They take one or two pieces. Don't take the whole packet away. But the way he was talking is, ambil. He was doing it. So the next time, what happened after that? We went to Malacca. And by the time we reached, we took a bus, it was really at night. We got no place to stay at all. So we reached a mosque. And then somehow we got permission to sleep on the outside of it. So we slept. And then one thing, want to bathe. The water was so slow. So we had to put it into the bottle, and then we bathed like that. But to me, it was quite interesting. Of course, when I go to toilet, it's so difficult. Because cebok, you know, it's quite tough, right? But it was a wonderful journey when I was 19 or so. But if you plan to do something like that, my suggestion is go with friends. Go with friends or family members. These are family members actually. But you got to be careful because bad things can happen. So in that stay, I went to a place called Lumut. I can't remember which state that is. And then, are you scared of cockroach? Oh, I'm scared of it. I'm scared. Quite geli. So what happened? I went to Lumut and I was learning how to ride a motorbike then. Up to today, because of that incident there in this Lumut, and I have photos of it. I have photograph of it. You can, maybe I can check and find and show you. So in Singapore, I was learning how to ride a motorbike. The gear is at the foot. Down there, there's this motorbike called Honda Cup. The gear is at the handle, you know. And so what happened? My relative says, hey, you ride the bike, you can do this, you can do this. I said, I do not want to ride, I'm not ready. He says, no, you do it, come on, be confident, you do it. Finally, I allowed myself to be convinced. He became the pillion rider, and but it's a different system. What do you think happened? It was just a straight road. And then I was riding straight. I didn't know how to stop the bike. Can you imagine? I went,
Isn't there like something like
yeah, there's a brake. But because this is a different bike, the clutch is also there. In Singapore, the clutch is at the bottom to change gear. Down is the clutch. So I don't know which one is the clutch, which one is the brake. I can't remember. Before that, they told, but in the end, I panicked. Now going down slope, and there were cables. No, if we went cables, our neck would have been gone. So I turned the bike, and it was like in slow motion. I see myself entering the longkang, and the bike went in, and both of us, the bike went in, both of us went in. All I remember is I hit the side, boom. And because of that, my left shoulder is loose. And then the bike overturned, petrol started leaking. And I really regret doing that. So my point is, I injured my thing. I was in the army, and yeah, that's what happened. And up to today, I'm so afraid to ride a motorbike. When I came back to Singapore,
But now Singapore easy what?
Yeah, so when I came back to Singapore, I continued my motorbike lessons. But because of that incident, whenever I did the emergency stop, you must travel fast, ride the bike, and then jam brake. I would fall on the ground. I'd fall twice, and I said, I don't want to learn bike anymore. And I gave up. And that's a story. I don't think it's a funny story.
My brother going for that one, right? The what again? The motor lesson now.
Motor lesson.
He got buy helmet already.
He bought helmet, Okay. But the helmet actually saved me, because when I went I was thrown into the longkang, When I went in, I remember, but I didn't feel any pain in my head because I was wearing a helmet. If I didn't have a helmet, I think my head would have been crushed because my shoulder, when it hit, is so painful, and I think the bone bent. So when I went to army later on, when I did pull up, I could feel it come out. Finally, it did come out, not in the army, when I was carrying my son this way. Sekali the thing came out, I lay in a bed and it slowly went back in. So yeah, I should not have been pressured to ride the bike when I'm not ready. So when you're not ready to do something dangerous, don't do it. Okay.
My father bike can go like 200 miles plus.
Wow. Oh,
that's why my father don't let my brother ride his bike.
Yeah, I mean, that can happen. Okay, so next week, can we still go through problem sums for speed? Are you all able to handle it? Okay, maybe I'll move on to a new topic, but we revisit every lesson 1 to, wow, that's a nice cat. 1 to problem sums session. Oh, okay then. You take care of yourself, all right? Assalamualaikum. Bye-bye.